Welcome back, everyone, and thank you for joining today. Get ready, because what you're about to hear might completely change the way you look at the spare change sitting in your drawers, jars, pockets, or old coin boxes. Today we're diving into one of the most surprising, unbelievable, and mind-bending discoveries in the world of American coinage, centered around a coin that millions of people have held at one point or another without even realizing what it could become. Imagine finding a Liberty quarter dollar from 1980, minted in Denver, and then discovering that this tiny 25-cent piece, this common, everyday coin, could secretly be worth an unbelievable $363 million. That's right. A coin with a face value of just a quarter, yet possessing a collector value that reaches a number most people will never see in their lifetimes. How could that possibly be? What makes this specific coin so valuable? What kind of mistakes, minting errors, and one in a billion quirks could elevate such a simple coin to the realm of priceless rarities? That is exactly what we're going to explore today, step by step, through every strange possibility and every unusual anomaly that could turn this 1980 Liberty quarter dollar into one of the most astonishing treasure pieces ever imagined. Before we go deeper, take a second to think about this. Collectors have paid millions for rare coins before. Coins with special errors, mysterious origins, or unique die varieties have shocked the world with their auction results. But why would a 1980 quarter reach a fantasy-level value like $363 million? The story behind this starts with the very nature of how coins are made, the conditions inside the mint, and the unpredictable events that sometimes take place during the minting process. Mint errors can be subtle, like a tiny doubling around the letters, or they can be dramatic, like an entirely missing design element, a struck-through object, or even a coin being minted on the wrong planchet. Each kind of error brings its own mystery, its own intrigue, and its own value potential. And in the case of the 1980 Liberty quarter dollar, the fascination lies in imagining a perfect storm of errors, multiple layers of mistakes stacked together that could create a coin so unique that no other example in the world could match it. Collectors are not just interested in old coins, they're obsessed with unusual coins. A regular 1980 quarter is common, over 500 million were minted. You could find one in pocket change today if you're lucky. But what sets apart an ordinary coin from a multi-million-dollar coin is the presence of anomalies. The more dramatic, unique, and verifiable the anomalies are, the higher the potential value. That's why the world of rare coin hunting is so thrilling. Every coin becomes a potential mystery waiting to be solved. Every scratch, every mark, every slight variation could mean the difference between a normal coin and a jackpot. Now imagine that the 1980 Liberty quarter dollar you're holding has several extraordinary features. The first possibility that ignites collector excitement is the idea of a double die error. A double die occurs when the coins die. The engraved metal piece that stamps the design onto the blank coin imprints multiple slightly shifted images due to misalignment during production. When this happens, the inscriptions, numbers, or design elements appear doubled under close inspection. Some double die coins from other years, like famous Lincoln cents, have sold for hundreds of thousands. Now imagine a scenario where a 1980 quarter shows extreme doubling, not just mild doubling, but a dramatic, unmistakable doubling throughout the date, the word Liberty, the eagle, or the mint mark. If such a coin existed, it would instantly become a phenomenon. Collectors dream of coins like this. But doubling alone wouldn't take this coin into the hundreds of millions. So, what could multiply its value further? Imagine combining doubling with a mint mark anomaly. The mint mark D on the 1980 quarter indicates that it was minted in Denver. But what if the mint mark was punched in the wrong position? What if the D was doubled, tripled, misplaced, rotated, or even accidentally punched over another mint mark? Historically, there have been overpunch errors where one mint mark is stamped over another, for example, D over S or S over D. Although highly unlikely in modern coins, the hypothetical existence of a 1980 quarter with an overpunched mint mark would be shocking. And if that mint mark error occurred during a transitional die switch between mints, something extremely rare and unexpected, it would catapult the coin into legendary status. But let's take it even further. One of the most valuable types of mint errors is known as a wrong planchet strike. This happens when a coin is accidentally struck on a blank meant for a completely different denomination. Imagine a quarter minted on a nickel planchet, or a dime planchet, or even rarer, a foreign coin planchet accidentally mixed into the American mint supply nationwide at the time. There are documented cases where quarters were struck on cent planchets or nickel planchets, and these coins become instant rarities. But imagine a 1980 quarter struck on a planchet meant for a commemorative coin, a foreign coin, or possibly even a silver planchet leftover from an earlier production cycle. The rarity of such an event would be indescribable. And if a coin like that survived in perfect, uncirculated condition, flawless and bright, untouched by time or damage, the collector value would skyrocket. Now mix that with a dramatic misstrike possibility. Misstruck coins are some of the most visually stunning errors in numismatics. Off-center strikes, broad strikes, double strikes, triple strikes, coins stamped multiple times before they move out of the striking chamber, each has a story. A coin that shows two different orientations of the same design on the same surface is a miracle of minting chaos. Imagine a 1980 quarter that was double struck in such a way that the second strike overlapped but left both designs fully visible. Or picture a dramatic 75% off-center strike where the quarter's rim is missing, and the inner copper core is exposed on one side. These coins often fetch thousands, sometimes tens of thousands. Yet the extreme rarity of a perfect combination, a wrong planchet, double die, mint mark error, and double strike would create a coin so unique that collectors would battle for it like a priceless artifact. The value of a coin rises not only from errors themselves, but from the story that surrounds it. Every legendary coin has a narrative, something that makes it more than metal. So, imagine the story of a 1980 quarter created during a hectic transition moment inside the Denver Mint. Perhaps during a die replacement rush, a misaligned feeder mechanism, or an accidental mixing of leftover planchets from earlier years, the coin receives a cocktail of errors that would normally be caught by inspectors. But due to timing, workload, or simple human oversight, it slips through the cracks and travels into circulation. Maybe it lands in someone's pocket change, gets dropped into a cash register, passes through hands unnoticed for years, and eventually ends up in a forgotten box of old coins. Decades later, someone takes a closer look, or perhaps it's inherited by someone who decides to inspect it under magnification. Suddenly they realize the coin they thought was ordinary is anything but. The discovery sends shockwaves through the numismatic world. This hypothetical coin becomes so rare, so one of a kind, that its value doesn't just reflect collector demand, it becomes a global symbol of rarity itself. Museums fight for the chance to display it. Private collectors enter bidding wars. Wealthy investors, even celebrities, become fascinated by the idea of owning the only coin of its kind. And that's how the mythical value of $363 million becomes attached to this 1980 Liberty quarter dollar. The coin's uniqueness makes it not just a collectible, but a historical treasure. Now let's explore deeper into the types of errors that could theoretically combine to create such a masterpiece of minting anomalies. Starting with the double die error, the possibilities are vast. A double date with clear separation in the numbers, where each digit appears twice with noticeable thickness, would immediately attract attention. Doubling in the word liberty or in God we trust adds another layer of rarity. Strong class 1 doubling, caused by rotation during hubbing, produces dramatic and highly collectible results. If this hypothetical 1980 quarter displayed doubling on multiple areas, it would be unprecedented. Doubling on both sides of the coin, obverse and reverse, would raise the rarity to unimaginable levels. And if the doubling extended to fine details like the wings of the eagle, the rim lettering, or the mint mark itself, collectors would be stunned. Next, consider planchet anomalies. A quarter struck on a planchet that was never meant to exist in circulation could explain a huge jump in value. Imagine finding out the coin was made of a unique metal composition, perhaps an experimental alloy tested briefly by the mint during the 1980 production cycle. Such test strikes are extremely rare and never meant to leave the facility. If a test planchet accidentally entered the production system and got stamped with the regular 1980 quarter design, it would instantly become a priceless rarity.